Hi, Danielle. Let's see what you wrote here today. Your relative is arriving. Okay, fantastic. So, dear Anna, how are you? It has been so long we since we last saw each other in person. I'm very excited that you are coming to my home for your vacation. All right, here this is fine, but you needed a semicolon because a comma is just not enough here. You need something in between a full stop and a comma, or else you need a linker. However, uh, I will not be home by, you don't mean this, actually. You don't mean I will not be home. I am not home by afternoon. I think you mean something else. You mean I will not be home when you arrive, essentially. Okay? I will be coming back from work only at night. So I thought it would be better to teach you how to enter the place so you can get yourself comfortable or maybe hit the sack a bit. I will be leaving my keys right behind the vase next to the door. You can move the vase a bit to be able to reach it. Your room will be the one closest to the kitchen. Feel free to organize your stuff any way you like. Okay? I believe that it would be best to give some advice, no S here, on how to actually arrive at my place. At the airport, there will be a Skyline station. There, you will need to buy one ticket and take the Skyline towards north. Okay. When you arrive at the Arvellini station, get off the wagon and climb the stairs so you can leave the station. My house will be right at the end of the block. All right. Again, you've got like these different ideas. You've got three separate ideas in one sentence. They're not linked by anything. The only thing you've done is you've separated them with a comma. And commas just don't work like that. Commas act like a pause, but you can't add like two or three different sentences and just by putting a comma, you know, like have that be enough. It isn't. So my house will be at the end of the block, full stop. It's the only blue house, so you can't miss it. That would have been okay. All right. All right. Now, this isn't proper English. Do you like what? So get rid of this and then let's see what you wrote. There is a very nice place to enjoy some tacos just 3 blocks down the street. I am thinking about taking you there for dinner. What do you think? We could also catch up a bit while waiting for our food. Again, full stop. I believe that you have lots of things to share about your trip, and I would love to hear them. Sincerely. Okay, so a couple of the grammar things here. You did something I liked that a lot of people have a hard time with. You made suggestions. So you said, what do you think? You said we could do this. I would have liked maybe a little more suggestions because you said it says here give suggestions. So in other words, more than one. Um, but yeah, this was kind of a suggestion. I'm thinking about taking you there. We could do this, we could do that. So I would have liked a little more of this language of suggestion. Maybe we could do this. What if we did this? That's what this was missing. It needed a little bit more of that. But this needed to go. I didn't love this sincerely. It felt a little formal. Um, and that's pretty much it. Okay. So yeah, it was fine overall, but again, it needed a little work. All right, now let's see what happened with this barking dog. Dear Frank, how are you doing? What about Karen? Okay. I called you guys these past few days so we could talk about some issues that I am experiencing regarding your dog, Sophie. Since I had no answer, I am writing this letter to explain what is going on and ask for solution. As you are aware, I am a programmer and I work from home. Full stop. New sentence. Recently, I have taken some medications so I could relax a bit as or since I am very stressed due to my job. However, Sophie has been barking all day and night. No, yeah. Barking all day and night. Sophie has been barking all day and night. that it is keeping me up at night and I am very stressed during the day. I would like to ask you to address this issue. I don't know what is going on with Sophie. Maybe she's also stressed or hungry. I know that you and Karen only come around here on or at the weekends. Maybe that is the issue. Sophie is missing you guys. All right, again, look, different sentences, okay? Here I would have liked a colon. And here you could have said, and maybe that is the issue, colon, Sophie is missing you guys. So could you please check on her or maybe even take her with you when you leave the city? Enough with this, you guys, okay? You've done it a few times. I would not do it so much. Okay, so it's fine. And then you go to this sincerely. I think you need to close your letter. And you did this one and the other one a little abruptly. There was no kind of like, there was no closing to it. So just something like, sorry to trouble you with this, but I hope we can resolve the situation. Just, it's like a little conclusion, all right? Just kind of wraps things up. And it was missing from this letter and from the other letter. Okay? I liked this one better than the other one. It felt more natural. It felt like you had a good flow. So it was pretty good, but just a couple of little things. I really want you to be careful with the punctuation. Okay? Let's take a look now at your task 2 about companies moving. Big cities are full of companies compared to regional locations. When governments push these companies to move to small locations, it can bring benefits and drawbacks to those cities, especially when you consider the high amount of workers related to those companies. Okay. This is one enormous sentence. Okay. So everything that I said about the commas in the previous 2 letters, that applies here too. I also don't feel like, look, it says, what are the benefits and drawbacks? Let's try this again. Big cities are full of companies compared to regional locations. Full stop. Let's see. To reduce the pressure on cities, some companies are moving to smaller locations, bringing with this move a number of benefits and drawbacks. That's it. Okay? So that would have been okay. Let's keep going. Companies moving to smaller cities, not shall, that's the wrong word here. Bring, just get rid of this and just leave it as bring. Bring some well-needed upgrades to the place. I don't like this little informal when you say to the place. To the location would have been fine. Or to the area. So bring some, not well-needed, maybe much needed. Let's try it one more time. Companies moving to smaller cities bring some much-needed upgrades to the area. I believe the main benefit is related to the city advancements around the company's needs. Workers need a developed city with different tools to live in the region. For example, subways, different parks to take a walk or relax. Here in Brazil, city development only happens when there are multiple companies located nearby. Full stop. New sentence. We can see that with more companies and consequently many more workers living and sharing the same space, the demand for a more suitable place to live and work grows with them. Okay. So this is about the positives, but you never actually called them that, okay? You told us what people need. You told us what happens in Brazil, but I felt that you needed to really just clearly lay out for us that, look, there are some positives associated with having companies move to smaller areas, okay? So it just needs to be structured a little differently. So the first thing I wanted was a clear topic sentence, pretty much just what I said. Something like, there are many benefits associated with companies moving to smaller areas. Firstly, companies moving to smaller cities will bring some much needed upgrades to the area. Okay. And then you said it was related to city advancements around the company's needs. Yeah, I don't really like this sentence. Maybe you could have changed it around to something more like, let's see, people moving to the area will require certain facilities, like parks. You have it here, subways, different parks, take a walk or relax, etc. And so places that were previously underdeveloped will be more livable. Okay, so it's really just making all of this very clear. And then your example about Brazil works perfectly. Okay. All right. So, however, there are some drawbacks when talking about companies settling to other locations. Huge spikes in rental prices is one of those drawbacks. Why? People will try to live closer. No, people will try to live as close as they can to their job, which will bring high demand for places. No, which will bring high demand for residences. And with that comes huge increases to the cost of living nearby. Rent price is one of the drawbacks. For cost of living revolves around much more. All right, I'm a little confused here. So basically, this is about rental pricing. And then you mention food market and parking, but you never actually develop it. So I don't know why you've mentioned it. Do you understand what I mean? So what are you essentially telling us here? You're telling us that great, the company moves to this regional location. Things start out really cheap, but as more and more people move to this location, things start to get expensive again, and it's just a vicious cycle. Okay, but maybe you could have developed this a little more. So you either needed to develop this idea a little more, or you need to add some more ideas to this. Maybe you could have talked about how long it takes for infrastructure to be built. Okay, you mentioned before the parks, the subways, but like think about the time required. So perhaps the company will have moved there, and the first people moving there are kind of like pioneers in the Wild West, there's not much really there for them. And so it can be very difficult at first. So you could have talked about that. I think that would have been a nice idea to include here. All right. In conclusion, companies, you need an S, moving from big cities to regional locations can highly improve that city's development. Okay, so you don't make a new sentence, bringing advancements years closer to arriving than before. That doesn't really make sense. Bringing advancements years closer. Maybe just stop the sentence there. On the other hand, as more and more people are coming to work and establishing themselves in the region, it may turn out to be very expensive living nearby. Okay. So some of this is really good. Some of this needs a little work. Some of the grammar, again, a lot of the punctuation, and some of the development I thought could have been worked on a little bit more. I think this is your last set, is it not? If you want to continue working with us, you'll see that there are more options, other essay packages that you can sign up for. So I encourage you to do that. There's still work for us to do together. And, let's see what you write for us next time. Okay, good luck.